All right, so we're gonna start this video with some food clips. So the Beyonce came over the other night and made me dinner. Here you can see that she's pouring some of this salsa mango marinade onto some salmon that we're cooking. And salmon's great fish to cook because it's really easy. You can pretty much put almost anything on it and just stick it in the oven and bake it for like 15 minutes, and it usually comes out great. What can I do? You're like way too good at cutting phallic objects. Yeah, no comment, love. So in addition to the salmon, we also had some quinoa salad. And for that, what I had done before she came over is cooked up a bunch of quinoa and then just put it in the refrigerator, because for this, it's actually a cold salad. You can see the quinoa right here. We put it in a big bowl. For this, it's also really easy because you can literally put almost anything in it and still make it taste fairly good, at least so far is what we found. So we're cutting up some cucumbers here. Also going to add some other vegetables, although I think the cucumber is technically a fruit. Is that right? Let me know in the comment section below. I believe anything with seeds is considered a fruit. But we put in some cucumbers here, and she's doing a great job cutting it up. And of course, this was nice for me because I just got to sit and film. She then went ahead and put some avocado in. So avocado, very good summer fruit, them healthy fats for anyone who happens to give a fuck. But this is very easy too. So just score it across each way and then just spoon it out. So we put a whole avocado in here. And that's one of the nice things about a lot of the recipes that I try to show you guys is you can literally put whatever you want in it to make any sort of changes. Just like a lot of lifting routines, you obviously cater it to your personal tastes. And speaking of taste, doing a recipe should be the same way. So other things we put in are some feta cheese. You also see a lemon in there. I don't think I showed a clip of the lemon going in. I asked her to put some tomato in. She's not a big fan of tomato, but I like a little tomato in my frickin' quinoa salad. So the tomato went in. So props for her for catering to my taste in this instance. All the things we put in were some roasted red peppers. Again, really anything you can think of. I'm just trying to think of all the different things I like. We threw it all in. The nice thing about this too is because a lot of the ingredients that we add in already have a lot of flavor. So then we just mix it up in a big bowl. You can add in other things like olive oil or balsamic or whatever else, but it's really up to you. All right, so this came in the mail the other day, and I thought I would point it out just because you can get 28-day abs. So I thought I'd just see what was in this. And you open it up, and of course, on page 105, what it says, you have Cristiano Ronaldo, and you have him and his ball handling skills, literally. But then it has an actual workout in here. I thought it'd be interesting just to see what they had you do. And on part of this, they have some sumo deadlifts, but the interesting thing is, let's see if this will focus in. Look how narrow that grip is. That's like less than 6 inches. And I know a lot of other things that are less than 6 inches, and that's not usually a good thing. So I'm assuming this being less than 6 inches is probably also not that beneficial. But I guess if you do this very narrow, it will help you get abs in 28 days. All right, so I'm outside. I'm gonna have some dinner, as you guys probably saw already. It's a lot of fish. That quinoa salad that you probably saw some clips of us making, which is actually really good. It's been something that we've been having a lot here in Rhode Island recently, and it's a great summer food. Not to mention quinoa has a lot more protein than rice and stuff like that. Plus it's just very fun and douchey to say, so quinoa. And then I got some grilled marinated asparagus. We're gonna eat out on the deck because it's a little bit nicer, which means the animals are staying inside because they are not nice. So Howard and Mako, screw them, they're staying inside. Big ups to the Beyonce for making this for me. I appreciate it, especially sneaking some camera stuff in there. She's sitting right here, but she does not want to be on camera right now. You just imagine. Use your imagination. You guys are good at that. Gonna cut it. Let's talk to you in a second. All right, so outside the gym again, it's Monday, but it's actually a holiday here in Rhode Island, which is interesting because we're actually the only state that celebrates or observes this particular holiday. In fact, it used to be called Victory Over Japan Day, but I guess people thought that was too un-PC, and probably one of the reasons why no other states actually observe it. But it's now known as Remembrance Day. However, again, Rhode Island's the only state that really observes it. So I have the day off, but that doesn't mean it's off from the gym because we're doing some speed pulls for deadlifts. Mrs. Campbell Fitness is with me. I might try to creep on her and get her in the frame in some cases. I can't guarantee it. I'm gonna try my damnedest. You guys probably saw some clips before and I may or may not have included her, but let's get into it and let's get to it. All right, so to start off the day, I wanted to show you where the bar is in relation to my feet, trying to play with the bar a little bit further out in front. This is something that Mike had suggested, so I'm giving it a go. And I tried to film from a bunch of different angles this time. You can see with the bar farther out, I have to bend my knees more in order to get my shins to touch. But I tried to grab a bunch of different angles so you could really just see it. Maybe you guys can point something out too, because you guys are never shy about pointing out flaws in lifting on YouTube. You can also see here, in this case, one of my friends in the background, Beth, who actually is down from Boston. She is an elite level CrossFitter. I think she was actually in the regional games for the Northeast region. However, she'll be the first one to tell you that she does not actually enjoy CrossFit, and I believe she's instead is going to be doing some Olympic lifting coming up. Now, watching these replays of these pulls, 405 for 10 singles, one of the things that I was worried about while I was in the workout, or thinking about, was the fact that these weren't feeling very fast. However, looking at them actually being done on film, not to mention the way that I cut them really quick together, they look pretty speedy to me, so I'm okay with that. Again, the goal here is to just move the weight as quickly as possible and really get a good feel for the weight. Initially going into this workout, I had talked to Mike about using 475 on this, and he said, you know what, just go with 405, get a good feel, see how it goes, and didn't want to overdo it. And he said that was really the point of the workout, just work on speed and not really having to beat yourself up so much. From there, we moved on to 6 sets of 2, yes, 6 sets of 2 of front squats. My working weight today was 275. I wanted to get a side view to check my depth. On this, though, it looks like I'm rounding forward a little bit of lumbar flexion, butt wink, if you will, but it's bound to happen as I go a little bit lower. I gotta tell you, my hamstrings were hurting me this particular day, so 275 for me is good, and considering the fact that I'm not wearing a belt, I haven't worn a belt for any front squats, as well as the fact that I had some rack issues in the past, these felt actually pretty decent, all things considered. Again, trying to get you guys a little bit of a couple different angles here, and this one, I like it a lot, only because when I go down, you can see the top of my knees is below my knee crease, so I know this is really tough sometimes, depending on the angle that I show you, to know if I hit depth or not. I think in this case, you can definitely tell that depth is on point. Now, I did 6 sets of these, but only recorded the first 3, only because no one really wants to see that shit. And we then moved on to a lot of volume, so 5 sets of 10 for stiff-legged deadlifts done from a deficit. And again, only showing you the first set here, and only using 185 because I have to keep with that YouTube tradition where I make a lot of excuses and then proceed to either lift lightweight or fail and blame the excuses themselves. But again, hamstring was sore, so 10 reps. This is pretty good considering the rest of the singles and the doubles before. So there you go. All right, so just got back from the beach and the grocery store, all since the gym, so it's been fairly busy. It's probably a couple hours since you last saw me. I know you guys are very upset, even though in YouTube time it was probably just a split second, but went to the grocery store. I figured I'd show you some of the things I picked up. You guys usually like to see some of these things, and it's not really a lot of stuff this time, so we can go ahead and do this. And of course, we have our friends Howard and what? You are ruining that couch. You are ruining that couch. What? You, meatball. Yeah, tell him. You tell him. Oh, great. See what you did? See what you did? You guys like that guy on guy dog porn? All right, anyways. So over here, just the things I got. So I got some of that White Monster, of course. I don't drink a ton of these. I don't actually drink a ton of caffeine besides what's in my pre-workouts, about 4 to 5 times per week. Don't drink coffee or sodas anymore, but I like to have these Monsters every now and then. And then some other stuff. I also have the Blue Monster. So these were on sale. They were $4.99 for the 4-pack, so it works out being pretty good, only because typically they're like $8 for the 4-pack. Hey! Mako! Hey! I'm trying to make a video over here, and you're throwing me off. Some other stuff, got some spicy mustard, that Ghetto Stop and Shop brand version because it's cheap as hell, as well as some Packles, so some Stackers Packles for my sandwiches. Speaking of sandwiches, let's do a little bit of jumping around. We got some of this bread right here that was on sale too for like $2.24. Now this brand also makes a protein version, but they haven't had that the last couple of weeks, so Stop and Shop, you need to step your game up. Then I got some deli meats over here full of nitrates and sodium and all sorts of good stuff. Just half the pounds of turkey and ham, which basically just means it's 2 sandwiches. So I'll probably end up going to the store again later this week. Just didn't really feel like buying a ton of stuff. I got some fruit, so some blackberries, some blueberries, and some raspberries, as my buddy Charles Barkley would say. It's very good. What else am I going over here? We got some body wash for the Beyonce. So for anyone who wants to know what the Beyonce is going to smell like, she's going to smell like tropical coconut. Speaking of coconut, I'm also gonna be eating some coconut. I saw this. I usually always get the vanilla flavored Greek yogurt. They had this toasted coconut. It sounded pretty good, so I decided why not. I then have some jumbo eggs. Again, more hormones for me, which means less supplementing in of hormonas externally, so I don't have to pin myself anymore and that good stuff. I can just get all my hormones and antibiotics through the chicken I eat. And there's some more chicken, only $1.99 a pound, I believe. So you know it's probably very high quality. And then finally, some chicken chorizo. So this is really good. Typically this is made more from pork and stuff like that and real fatty and veal. This is a chicken version. So the macros on this aren't that bad. Per 2 ounces, 3 grams of fat, 12 grams of protein, and plus it's very phallic looking, which you know already is pretty much right up my alley. So that's what I got. I'm gonna go ahead and probably start marinating this chicken. Oh, I forgot to mention that as I go off frame here. I picked up some of this Stubbs chicken marinade. This is, I think, citrus and onion. It sounds really interesting. Some might say it sounds really gross. The Beyonce, actually enough, does not like onions. So that means I can make all those pounds of chicken that I got, and she won't eat any, so more for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and marinate that, and I'll check in with you guys in a little bit.